what can we say about No Man's Sky that hasn't been said? False promises and mediocre content, shallow mechanics, and light years of empty space. Acres of hype that stretch as far as the eye can see and not a paddle to wade the water with. So what have we got to say about it all? Well, this. If you dropped me into the world of Skyrim with no strings attached, as in having nothing to do with the story, compared to No Man's Sky, I'd find a lot less drive to explore and to experience new things. You see, Skyrim suffers from a hyper-focused plot, and less of a focus on the world being lively and bustling with life, with opportunity spewing from all of its cracks. But in No Man's Sky, sometimes the sheer beauty of the environment or the obscurity of its life forms beckons for adventure and exploration. I'm always wandering into new locations with new beings I've never seen before and plenty of scattered life and subtle happenings. No Man's Sky pulls more than Skyrim pushes, and that's awfully interesting to me. In one hand, I could be a powerful medieval Dovahkiin with all sorts of options of stealth, action, or ranged attacks, and in the other, substantially less. And so it's odd that I can find the latter so much more inviting than Skyrim's dull green and white landscape. The promise of alien planets and species and endless bounds of space has always been as interesting as it is horrifying for me, and in its best moments, No Man's Sky captures that feeling perfectly. Floating through the endless void, staring into a black abyss that would lead to God knows where, comes with a certain tension just as it does excitement. I was genuinely horrified and awestruck the first time I encountered a black hole, and that's something no other game has ever captured for me. The illustrious hues of the surface of some planets and the oddities of its life forms invites me into an atmospheric experience where I truly am only a lone wanderer, barely keeping enough for me to sustain my flight. It's akin of an image of a bird with a somewhat broken wing, struggling to fly, but it will always be brought back down by its imperfections. It's a shame, really, because what is there is exciting, inviting, and queer, and everything it needs to be to do what it's going for. And many experiences you'll have are entirely new ones to boot as well. Plenty of moments had me in awe, looking at what was on the screen, thinking with wondrous eyes and a childlike sense of curiosity. But it can all subside in an instant to be replaced with tediousness, ambiguity, and arduousness too. Much of what you'll do's purpose will really come into question as well. Hang on. Planets are cram-packed with icons, structures, alien species, and tons of things to mine. Much of it is text-based and can be very interesting, yet much of it is repetitive and very dull as well. Plenty of moments lead to low payoff and leave you with a lacking sense of progression, begging when your endgame will really come. Its mechanics can be shallow and underdeveloped, and its ideas are nearly leaps and bounds from perfection. There's so much empty space and moments of uninteractivity that leave me hungry for something more, something truly incredible. Space in its solar systems is lacking, and yet time-consuming as well, which quickly becomes more cumbersome than interesting and could have had more systems implemented to hold the player's attention, like a spacefaring metagame about keeping your ship intact and running, or smaller asteroids with more rare and interesting items or places on them. Much of space between planets and systems could have been better utilized, and even feel cocked out at times, with loading screens that don't even seem to try much either. Combat is somewhat lacking too, with frustrating yet low-threat space fights and deaths as well, leaving you to fly where you've just been to pick up what's left of your loot. Plenty could be added here to make for a much better experience overall, and while the game isn't all bad, it isn't all good either. And its hype and marketing couldn't have led to a situation like this more. Mechanics seem tacked on to please overhyped fans, and quality is less than what was shown in trailers and screenshots. But with developer support, with updates and mod support, this game could become something entirely new on its own. We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, I'm over it. Here at Zedesko, we're on to better games with more interesting themes and better understandings of game mechanics and player psychology. Games that try new and different things but maintain these goals while still contemplating gaming mechanics and balancing depth with satisfying rewards and layers of good design under the cover of blanket that is theming and gameplay. And No Man's Sky sacrifices gaming mechanics for mere moments instead, leaving behind conventional game feel and psychology for something different entirely. It's a game that sacrifices its reputation for fleeting moments of awestruck gameplay and seemingly frontiering concepts. It's an amazing game in one respect, and yet a not so great one in others.
This one gets a 7
out of 10. So we just want to take this extra moment to thank everybody that watches these videos regularly. You guys are really the reason we put these videos out, and it's truly amazing. It inspires us every day, and it does take a while sometimes because we have other things going on, but we truly appreciate the audience we have. As small as it may be for now, we look forward to growing and expanding, and thank all of you for being there for us. You mean everything to us, so thank you. Here's some more and different videos.